Miss Jones is not a checker of the year.
The threat of inflation is just as dangerous as the communist aggressor we're pledged to fight.
Yeah, this is going to sound weird, but we're still considered a small regional mall, but with local. So yeah, I was in this closet, and it might need a little love in here. I was in here, so you know they used to keep all the balloons here. I'm like, we're done with balloons, so we've got a ton of paper that they would. So, in fact, these might be back in style. I don't know. Right. Yeah. So back in that far corner, I was rooting around, and I'm like, and I found those booklets of the slides, and I'm like, oh, I gotta get this done. I've spoken to a couple of local guys that might work with us on getting these, because I mean that's part of history, so that's kind of, you know, I don't know how much of that shows up. Yeah, you know, because these are actually the negatives themselves. So I want to try to get these either printed out digitally, throw them on a cloud somehow. The original party, like Donald Duck was here. I think we're about up to 300. Before H&M came in, so then there was Lane Bryant, there was Pocket Change, Musicland was over there before they went across the street. I was back in one of the old closets and found the original grand opening agenda, September 10th, 1980. Yeah, Meadowlark Lemon, Billy D. Williams, Clayton Moore, the Lone Ranger was here. Lou Goldstein, I think he was probably with Simon at the time. Clayton Moore, Kyle Rote Jr., he was a soccer player, Dallas, I guess that'd have been the Tornadoes.
Texas.
Howdy. Little Boca Feliz here.
Legendary.
They've got their downtown location as well. Have you been down there? Yeah. All family owned. They've been here now about 4 years. And so they've done so well here. Who do we have? Oh, looks like we got a school bus dropping off. And then we have Italia Express. Well, here's Amazon. I buy stuff on Amazon. We all do. But if you look at total retail sales, I'd have to go back and relook at the numbers. But it's less than 30% of all retail. I'm sure I'll be corrected on that pretty quick. Those are the last numbers that I looked at. I think younger generations now, I mean, you get something, retail continues to grow in the DFW area. We just did our Weitzman forecast for 2026, and we've had record-breaking retail growth in the last 3 years as we study centers that are 25,000 square feet and above. And I think DFW, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, those are our 4 markets. They they're at 96.1% occupied. So we're still piling on and still opening up new centers, constantly. So I think retail, brick and mortar is here to stay. You'll always have those people that don't want to leave their houses, which is fine. But I think people want to touch things, they want to smell things, they want to feel it. I mean, unless you know your exact same size of shoe, okay, but I've had to send shoes back, which didn't fit. And it's just a pain. I'd rather go buy it, touch it, feel it, and enjoy it.
Where's everybody? It's like really empty out here. Like, did the freaking rapture happen and I was just left behind or something? Why, God, why did you take everyone away from me and leave me behind with these stupid, colorful boxes? Why is it so freaking empty around here? Right. There's gotta be something here. What does it mean? That's what's happening. It's Christmas. It's Christmas and everyone's at home. I got shit to do today. What, is every place closed, man? I need to get some gifts, dude. Anyways, coming up next we have Whiskey and Wine, and Nick Stevens is off globetrotting and running for government or something like that. But, New Year's are all about changes and accepting them for what they are. So enjoy this segment while it's different. Hello?
Denton shop local? I think Denton aspires to shop local.
I think with where we're at in our national economy with inflation and with products becoming more expensive for local suppliers, I think folks have less discretionary money. And I think they want to support local businesses. I think, unfortunately, I think local businesses are being priced out because of where most working folks in Denton find themselves. We know that the product is better in our local businesses. We want to support those folks, but we can't always afford it. And I think that's a sad reality. I also think just because of where the economy is right now, that certain things are luxuries that weren't luxuries before. That's, terribly sad thing. And I think so much of it reaches beyond what we can control here locally. Some of what the city's doing to try to support local businesses, there's an ordinance about who can have businesses down in the downtown corridor, things of that nature, to try to promote more local business. And I think those are the right choices. I hope that our city's thinking about the contracts that they're extending and where they're choosing to spend their money. I hope that's the case, and buying from local suppliers when it's possible for them. I know the city, spends a lot of money on consulting fees for various services and things like that, and there are bid processes connected to all of that. But I would love to see the city doing more to try to make sure that we're keeping our dollars in the local businesses and the local economy. I think one place where folks do spend their dollars locally, Denton has such a robust restaurant and bar scene, and I think we value that. Those are community hubs, those are places of gathering, and so I think those proprietors, those people mean a lot to our city, and they shape a lot of our civic identity. So I'm grateful for those local businesses. And, I know that we've made it hard for them to keep their doors open between inspections and fees that are associated with it. The zoning requirements related to parking and things like that. There are definitely things we could look at. I think the more that Denton spreads out, the more urban sprawl that happens, it actually discourages local shopping. And I think the choices that we're making around development and around infill housing and housing density actually impact our local businesses. When you live on the outskirts of town, when you live in these developments that are pushing further and further away from services, people are more reliant on things like Amazon and other delivery services, which certainly are not, that's not encouraging local business. And has consumerism changed? Sure, consumerism has changed. I mean, folks expect to be able to get exactly what they want in 24 hours. I think that's just a reality of society these days. Is it healthy? No. Does it support large corporations? Absolutely. But when the grocery store is 25 minutes away because of urban sprawl, I think that changes the way people shop. When they don't feel connected to the community, when they don't feel a civic identity, then I think that impacts the way that people shop because they don't connect with the local businesses the way that maybe they used to when they could walk there, or when they were 5 minutes down the road, or when there wasn't a parking issue on the square, things of that nature. So it's changed, and how much we can change it back, I'm not sure, but I do think we can do things that get out of the way of our local business and that help them be successful.
We'll be right back. Let's see what's in these presents.
Kingpin. Of course, in the comic book heydays during World War II, at least 600 million comic books were selling each year, under 600 titles. Last year, perhaps 300 million books were sold, under 300 titles. But that's still considerably better than the 200 titles that have been selling in recent years.
I feel like a puppet guided by invisible strings.
We at the Marvel Comics Group have tried to establish more relevancy and more philosophy and more satire in the stories.
That's the first song I really just liked playing.
So this is the third gravesite of John Denton. Or is it? Well, one thing's for sure, one thing's for damn sure. Even if it is John Denton here, it's not all of him.
Come on, stores, open up. I've got a fresh $5 to spend on you. Come on, I want something. I'm trying to get gifts for my friends, but if all the stores are gonna be closed today, I guess I can do my $5 magic trick for you, huh? And turn this into a fresh 20 and start our next segment, which is the top story, consumerism, and how it's been messing about with us here in Denton. 1, 2,
Lil D TV. It's a local Denton culture, culture show.
All the time. Most of the table is resin, and then I have a bunch of candles. Some other like festivals have jewelry up here. Without all of these people shopping our wares, we would not survive. We wouldn't be here. Like, I wouldn't be here without community.
Whoa!
This is Krampus Mingle. Hi, I'm Allie, and I'm the founder of Denton Art and Performance Collab. And I've made all of the stuff on the table. I do tons of resin work with like real flowers, mushrooms, bugs in it, lots of candles and soaps and like festival wear.
My name is Lindsay Jensen, and I am an artist for LRJ Creations, and I make stained glass art. Be out and about and let people get what they can. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be out of everybody's way.
Totally fine.
I've been doing this for about a year now. I started doing this after my cats died, and they are on my banner, both of them, Max and Rain. And it was just a way for me to get through the grieving process because they were like my children. I don't have kids of my own, so, and they've been with me through a lot. So I wanted to make memorial pieces for them, and I thought, you know what, I can make them on my own. And then it kind of just transpired into this.
When I think of consumerism, I actually think of corporations though, because I think, oh, they're a consumer, rather than this is my like valued customer. This is someone who I have like a contact, a base with, and you know, just like they matter a little more to me. When you say consumerism, I think like they're just numbers, and I feel like a lot of corporations consider us as just numbers, like just consumers. Yeah.
I personally like to wear unique things, and I know that other people do too. So even though there's Temu and Amazon and everything, but it's like if you buy from there, somebody else is going to have it, and not everybody wants to look like everyone else. You know, they want to be unique and they want to have their own, you know, look.
Having been a small business owner, even though we worked on cars, it's not necessarily a small expense. It was still a small business, and it was all word of mouth and who did you know, and it's a tough thing to do, so I don't mind supporting small businesses at all. When I was growing up, shopping was going door to door down the sidewalk at all the local businesses there, and you know, there was no climate control like malls, you know, and you know, it's just local people. Now you don't really see that anymore. You know, and coming here was kind of a breath of fresh air.
What happened with the square, like happened in squares all over the country, all over the world. In 1958, the bus service went out in Denton, which used to bring people down here all the time. But, you know, people were getting cars, people had more money. They had just completed Highway 24, which is University Drive or 380. And they had put in a thing called the Denton Shopping Center. And they wanted to try to somehow make the square look like a new shopping center. And so they covered up a lot of buildings, and there was a movement actually to tear down the courthouse, to tear this beautiful building down, to create parking. One of the ways that they were able to stop that movement to tear down the courthouse was not by appealing to good sense, common decency. They got a bid on how much it would cost to tear it down. And since it cost so much to tear it down, that's why reason prevailed, not because they were decent people. But
I mean, Eatery was the Amazon. You know,
yeah.
It was like the Denton County Amazon. Like if you wanted it, you could go to Eatery and get it, or order it out of a catalog.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But then there were lots of other stores. So that's part of the draw. Like you're coming here to take care of business, you could knock it all out. I mean, so that was back in the day. My grandparents would go once a week.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, you'd see photographs of people that were nicely dressed when they come downtown. No decent people would Think of coming down dressed in a like Sean here.
Yeah, right. No, right.
Also within this, there were banks down here. This is where all the banks were.
Drugstores.
Yeah, drugstores.
I mean, all of it. Yeah.
Attorneys' offices, and the city really put some money into some policy decisions. For instance, to join the Main Street program in the '80s, to try to encourage redevelopment on the square. And the county did its part by investing millions into renovating this courthouse, turning part of it into a museum, and restoring the rooms, like this courtroom, for instance. You know, you were looking at the big tall ceiling that when I first came here, this was not open. This was there was a floor all across here. And so the county and the city working together made or encouraged, I guess, the redevelopment of the square and turned it into what it is now. And it's been a resounding success. And it wasn't an instant success. It took a long time for it to happen, but it became, sort of a real beloved focal point of the community.
Whenever they built that mall, there was an exodus because you had Woolworths here.
Yeah.
You had JCPenney here. I mean, all the things that we think of like anchors that were literally anchors.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Left the square and they went to the mall.
Right. JCPenney's went from here, actually to Denton Center first, which is where Kroger's is now. There was, again, it was the sort of the worship of the new. And there was this a discounting of what we have. But what's interesting to see now, to me, when you bring up the mall and the fact that it sucked so much life out of the downtown area, which do you think is going to endure longer, that mall or this square? Obviously, the square is going to be here. It's going to be prospering, and that mall will be a dead, rotting hulk, which it already is.
If you look at our numbers, traffic over the last 2 years is up 18%.
I feel like it's sometimes underappreciated, and so that's why we try and promote, shift to thrift. So instead of going somewhere to buy something new, check a thrift store. There's usually like $2 an item, and most of them have never been used or worn. Check a thrift store. We get tons of coffee mugs. We have 3 dressing rooms, and then we always have a big discount section. So also athletic and pajamas. John C. We are in Denton, Texas. We're just down East McKinney, so it is walkable from the square, but it's a little bit further down the road. I am, I'm the director of brand marketing. So I've actually been here since almost the beginning. So I've worked from the warehouse to storefront to all the different roles here at Thrift for Good. Our business model is what makes us really unique in that when you donate with us, you get to choose who your items support. So if you were to donate a jacket with us and you wanted it to benefit dogs or a certain shelter, once that jacket goes through our back end and is in the store and priced, let's say it's $6. So 25% of that will go to that charity that you initially chose. Let me rephrase. Oh, there's that dog. He does look lost. Yeah.
Going home.
Yeah.
At any given time, it can be from anywhere to 9,000 to 10,000. Currently, we have 10,300 items in store. There's so many things that you can just buy here at the thrift. I'll tell my friends, like, why are you buying that at Walmart or like Amazon, Target? It's at the thrift, or I saw it at work, you can go buy it at work. So yeah, the stuff does exist. Sometimes it's brand new and we can sell it and it'll be great. and like back there in our donation area, there's so many donations that we got. It's just, yeah. There's so many things in the world.
So typically we accept all the donations here. They'll run over the line, it'll send like a little bell and we'll be out to help them unload. Once we get the donation from them, we ask what charity they want it to benefit. So we'll just choose a random one. We'll do Buddy's Place Cat Rescue, that sounds cute. And then we typically put 2 stickers per item. And from there, we would sticker it. And then typically we would place them on these bays in the back. As you can see, we have tons of donations to get through, but we are working hard on getting them cleared. The next step is it's gonna ask us to enter the items. So we're gonna get the lot number, which is ZDQ69. From there, items will get pre-sorted by category. So all of these bins over here are gonna be our women's tops and clothing. These ones are gonna be for like our teenage girls and boys. These 2 are for baby and holiday. And then we have a men's bin. But all of our hard goods get pre-sorted into these bins and then they're assigned toys and crafts. Would be home improvement, organization. We have pets, sports, garden, outdoors. All of these are linens. Our holiday stuff is gonna be to the right. Okay, so each shelf is assigned a certain number of items and a certain category. So for our Christmas shelf, off the top of my head, I think we requested 900 Christmas items every week. So the numbers are crazy. I think per week we get like over 3,000 items a week. Hello, welcome in.
I got some stuff out here.
So unfortunately, we aren't taking donations today. Is there any way you could come back on Sunday?
No, I came down here because I wanted to get rid of these. Okay.
I know Texas Thrift, they help with a nonprofit as well. So a lot of their proceeds will go towards, it's just one nonprofit, but it still helps.
Where's it at?
It is down the street and to the left, I believe, right next to.
So you only have certain days a week you take your stuff?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll just throw it away.
Yeah.
Before I do
So.
That.
And we would have way more items in our store too if we accepted donations every day. So we have to have specific donation days, Sunday through Wednesday from 11 to 6 o'clock. Because if not, we get filled up fast. And then we've gotten to the point where we've had to close down donations for months at a time just because we couldn't keep up. Like it was so much stuff. So all the items that we can't sell end up going over here. We get 2 of these every week filled up to the brim. And we send them to a charity called Arms of Hope. So we send 2 of these a week. Every Tuesday they come pick up. Here is more clothes that we can't sell that need to end up getting cycled through here, but we just are so backed up with inventory. It's crazy. So like, yeah, this is another bin right here that is just packed full to the brim. Overconsumption. Overconsumption. To me, that's what that means. Because like, and we're all guilty of it. Unfortunately, we're all guilty of it. I work at a thrift store. I see everything that I could possibly need. But at the end of the day, I think it's about convenience. So yes, everything already exists, but people will go to the store and buy it simply because they need it right then and there. And so I really think online shopping has like killed the economy in a sense because it just helps people, again, with the lack of patience. They want to buy something immediately. Like, when you could just simply go to the store, get in the car and go to the store instead of ordering it on Amazon and getting it the next day delivered to your door. Like, I can't stand online shopping. I really can't. I refuse to do it because I know once I do, it's like a gateway drug. Like you have to get everything online because it's just so simple and makes your life easier. But then in the long run, it's just actually taking down years of our lives.
I mean, everything is just getting more expensive. And so we're not really one of the necessities whenever it comes to buying books and different gifts and such. So whenever everything else gets more expensive, of course, people have to manage their money in certain ways.
So this is, she just doesn't want a name, but she does want it to be illustrated.
Yeah, just signed, not personalized, and then any song recommendation for each book.
I haven't ever signed anything.
Yes. This is the local celebrity, that's for sure.
The magic of Patchouli Joe's is that they have the sweetest people who are working here.
Oh my God, I can't listen.
They have been so supportive of me and of my books. They have been just my home for buying books ever since I first discovered them a few years ago. It's a real loss for the community, for them to be leaving, and we're all very sad about it.
Unfortunately, after 4 years, the position that we're in, by March, we are potentially going to be closing. The community in Denton is always where we've wanted to be and serve this wonderful community. It's just with the rising costs of everything and also consumer habits, we unfortunately are at the point where significant changes have to occur in order for us to keep operating.
Well, the square was, God, I can't even hardly remember what was on the square because I just didn't come down here. I remember there being like a Army Navy store, Army surplus store or something on the square. It was an antique stores and a lot of clothes spots. It just wasn't anything. Over the years, I have watched it progress and become such a cool place.
I get it. You can keep talking.
Okay.
I'm a sucker for a cookie any day.
Oh, me too. Oh, wow.
And so she's going to do our birthday cake and stuff. I said, can you do cookies? She said, yeah. And I said,
oh, that is so sweet of you.
Yeah.
Without the ability to have additional revenue streams at this location, it's a challenge for us.
And did you say anything about parking?
No, I did not, but that's a good point.
Yeah, parking has also become a challenge. We, in the middle of the summer, an apartment complex began to be built and took away all of the parking that we had in the back of the store, which was a huge parking lot. And then in the front of the store, we're limited on what the parking is. And I know people say that you can park other places and walk to the stores. Not every customer is going to do that. Not every customer has the ability to do that. I would love the city to jump in and help. I don't know that they talk about that there are grants you can get, there are things you can do, but it all takes upfront money. It all takes upfront costs. And I just feel like there could be something a little bit more proactive to help small business in Denton. And I'm not blaming anybody. I mean, the price of books has gone up. That's been a hard battle for us too.
What would it take for this place to stay open? I mean, you said a miracle, but what is that miracle?
Money. Money. Yeah, we just have got to.
Do you know the square footage of this place?
Okay, so the letter went out, I think 10 o'clock Friday morning. And Friday was one of our best days of the year. So many people were coming in, and so many coming in crying or talking to me and starting to cry. And I would start sobbing, and then I would get better, and then somebody else would come in and cry and just saying how important the store was to them. And it has just been so amazing. And the realization, and this is where I'll cry, the realization that success is not measured by money. Success is measured by human connection, and we feel so successful because of that. So the fact that we're struggling to keep the store afloat and closing the doors, and unless a miracle happens, if something else happens where we can move it, then that'd be great. But we really feel the love of the community, and we really feel like we were here for a reason.
So they came and brought us a notice from the construction company that they were going to come out in 2 weeks, and it's going to be about 2 to 4 weeks worth of some construction going on. They came and barricaded all 3 of the entry points, which is here, here, and at the end cap. Well, actually 4 if you count the driveway. And it took them 3 months before the project actually started. So we came in personally, probably shouldn't off record or not, but we came and moved the barricades because they hadn't started construction, but the road was completely closed in. so nobody could get into the parking lot. So it was right when we were trying to make up for all the lost time and the lost business during the holidays. So honestly, COVID was not even a fraction as scary as the last 9-10 months of what these businesses, and 90% of them are mom and pop small businesses. We had 2 that didn't make it. One had to file for bankruptcy and he had to close down. Yeah, because he had just did his grand opening and then the entire road was shut down, so he couldn't get any foot traffic in. We've been in business over 30 years, so our customers, you know, they know what's up, so to speak, and they made it work. They're like, oh, we'll Spider-Man off the building, we'll figure it out, we'll buy gift cards, we'll make it work. But COVID wasn't nearly as scary as what was going on because we were just so far back behind already from, like I said, the holiday season. That was kind of like, are we all gonna make it? Is anybody gonna make it? Then they had Alice closed off for a while. So I know there were several accidents because you would come into the street not knowing that you couldn't leave. And then it would cause like a lot of people running into each other.
Show me some of you.
This is my dad. He's younger than I am now in this picture. There used to be a taekwondo and a ballet studio. It's called Denton Dance Conservatory. It's still here in town. Miss Lisa Rossini is the director. I took ballet with Miss Lisa. My brother took taekwondo next door, so we just walk over. And then this is my dad doing some of the remodeling. He used to paint and do contract stuff as an apprentice for one of his cousins. Hi, I'm Hormat Pomorshed. I am the daughter of the owners of Green Zatar. My parents, Ali and Hakima Pomorshed. So it is the truest form of mom and pop that you could have in Denton. I have some little old couples that are like, we want to sit there. It's so cute. They want to be all romantic in the corner. Hey, this is my dad, Ali. Nice Cameron. Grill, actually, it's huge and heavy, as you can see. But my aunt actually brought it in piece by piece in her suitcase to bring it to us because it's an authentic Persian kebab grill that you cannot buy here. Like, I don't know the word for it. Like, happy, sad, because at the same time I'm like, I want them to be able to enjoy, you know, my dad's almost 70, my mom's in her 60s. They work 6-7 days a week. They've never been on a vacation. Yeah, it's like I want him to be able to sit here and chat with the customers and not have to, like, he burnt his hand the other day. And I was just like, man, you should be enjoying. We do have steady clientele. We've never had a sinking ship. There's just scary ups and downs, but I would love for it to just be like steady. I would love to be able to hire somebody in the kitchen that can just wash dishes so that you don't have the chef be the sous chef and the dishwasher and the, you know, just the plant water, just everything, the candlestick maker, the butcher maker, all of it. And I don't think it was the city's fault. I think the contractor bit off a lot more than they could chew, and then the city was just stuck between a rock and a hard place. And also because we're all established businesses for the most part, we didn't think ahead of time that it's going to take that long to advertise. We also had a lot of people that would call us and say, hey, are y'all open yet? We're like, we never closed. Denton is growing in a direction where it can either go in one of two ways. Really scary, and we could be like a mini suburbia Frisco type thing where the little shops are just there and somebody accidentally stumbles upon them. Or we can find ways to genuinely know that, hey, local means loyal. Local means so-and-so's tuition gets paid, so-and-so's car gets fixed. You know, this is Mr. Jimmy Joe from church, or this is Susie from the plant shop who helped me, you know, not kill my begonia. Like, I hope that we continue to go on that path. I know that I've spoken to some people in the city of Denton that are looking forward to helping bring that into fruition. Not my idea, obviously, but to bring that path of keeping Denton loyal and local and small, but still, you know, able to grow.
So I'm Eric Pruitt. I'm a dad, husband, Denton transplant came here for music to UNT back in 1998. Somewhere along there, my music/engineering brain just started peeling things apart and reading more and more and trying to figure out how cities work and what the potential problems are. And I guess that's a hobby that just keeps giving. You can think about what the ideal case might be, but then when you actually come to an empty lot here, you say, well, why is this lot empty? So actually, this particular lot, I think last fall, was rezoned along with a lot of South Downtown from the mixed-use neighborhood district to the mixed-use downtown district. And one big advantage of that is that it allows people to build a business and not have to provide a particular number of parking spaces. So say you wanted to open a bar, right? A fun bar with a standing room music venue, right? Well, the parking requirements right now for that use it's about a 18 to 20 to 1 ratio of the amount of land that you have to spend on parking to the amount of land that you spend on the building. And so on this lot, which is, I don't know, I'm guessing 1.5 acres, 2 acres, you would get, roughly a 1,500 square foot building, if that. So that was a good effort that the city did as a result of the downtown plan. There's Giuseppe's, there's their bed and breakfast. This one on the corner is an office for a home health care place, right? They have. And like all these businesses are just in old houses, right? And so what you realize is that almost never does a building get built and get used by that one thing until it falls down, right? Yet all the regulations that we have in place assume that exact same activity is going to be happening in that building forever when it's built. The idea that, well, this kind of business needs a taller wall here, or more parking over here, or more lighting, or a different kind of, grease trap. People find ways to deal with that stuff, right? But then the other thing it causes is a lot of vacant buildings, because once you are at a point where those regulations are so expensive, both in time and money, to be able to open your business there, you're just not going to lease it, right? So this building used to be Soho Salon. They closed down, unfortunately, during COVID, I believe. And for a couple of years, this sign here said, for lease, office or salon. And I'm fairly certain that the reason for that is that their parking lot over there has space for about, 8 cars, something like that. And they're, this building is big. It's probably 4,000 square feet. And there just weren't other uses in the table of the code regulations that said, yeah, you can do those other things in here. And then you look at what really has happened in the last 20 to 40 years, and because it's been so hard to start small things and build small buildings on small lots and start a business, there have been more and more large businesses, franchises, chains, etc., just because that's where the capital is. I think we've been in an environment for so long now that where those larger businesses have been sort of the de facto holders of capital and movers and shakers of things. Having lots of regulations, while it does hurt them a little bit, it hurts the little guys a lot more. If you're going to come in and build a subdivision of 200 homes, right, or a strip mall of 20 businesses, you can afford to pay your architects and lawyers $500,000, $2 million. before you even start building anything, right? But if you want to come in and open a record store in a small building, you don't have that time. Like you quit your day job because you wanted to start this business. You can't just sit there and go through the paperwork process for a year and a half, not earning any money to put food on the table. The bigger players benefit from the process being slower and harder, and the little people just can't compete, right? Because they can't bleed cash for that long.
List.
Oh, no.
If you were to guesstimate how many small businesses there are in Denton,
I can tell you, it's 1,000. It's 1,000. So Julie Glover is the one that I talked to when I first started doing this, because she was instrumental in getting the Downtown Association put together. And she used to maintain a database, which unfortunately left when she left. So that was sad. This thing is alive. So if we do a website or whatever, other people can go in and put their information in it as needed or change it as needed. So because of what I've seen here at the office with so many bankruptcies, so many people in debt, watching our beloved businesses having to shut down because of whatever factor, the Chamber of Commerce, you have to pay to see their list. Downtown does have their own, thing, but they're not very good at sharing that information either. So our businesses aren't known. So how can we help our businesses be known? We can do one of two things. We can create a spreadsheet, which I did, and I invited every small business local to Denton only to email me, and I would put them on the spreadsheet, whatever service they offer. I just make a new tab if it's a new business type. And then we're going to ask the city to put it on their website. I was amazed at how many farms we have in Denton. So the spreadsheet, I hope, will be the beginning of something that will really help our small businesses grow and better stay in business.
Yeah, the last seminar I went to, Chapter 13, their stats show that bankruptcies are up at least 10%.
Oh.
In my practice, I think they're up 30%.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, I don't do the math. He does the math.
Yeah,
So
I
I
mean,
can get the
just
statistics.
a sense
Yeah.
of what's coming in. There's just, it keeps me very, very busy.
It's the debt load. People finally, I think they're at a level where they can't afford food, let alone utility bills.
Yeah. Well, it's the cost of food, it's the cost of insurance, and it's the cost of gasoline.
Yes.
If you look, these costs are up.
Factors.
Hopefully they're going to come down, but that's where we are, and families are struggling for it. So we're trying to work through it, and we're here to help them. But they really, people have some very difficult situations. There's no doubt about it. I don't know how they make it month to month.
We sit and cry with them because honestly, some of the women that have been calling lately, they're calling in tears. And it's interesting, we are not your typical law firm either. We actually help people and they don't lose their life savings because of us, right? Yeah, which I think we need to retrain how we think and kind of go back to the 50s, 60s, 70s when there were mom and pop and you went to a specific location. What we do in Denton is not going to destroy Amazon.
Give me leaning suggestions so I get to the information that you want.
Sure. Well, hopefully you can handle this. What is your name?
I can. My name is Kim McKibben, and I have owned this building and this business. Well, the bank and I have owned this building and this business since December the 31st, 2012.
The whole lots, take the whole lots. But, as long as we can keep this stuff.
And after World War II, it was built to house returning soldiers who wanted to go to school. So these rooms were like barracks rooms, and occasionally we'll have somebody come back through and go, do you mind if I go back there and just look in that space? And, you know, the baristas take them back. And he said, yeah, I lived in this room for 3 years while I was going to college after I came back from World War II. It would have been nice if Ora Coffee had made profit last year. But, you know, that's not the core value, I think, of this coffee shop is not to make tons of money, which a lot of people don't get at all. I like it that I can support it, or I've been able to support it before I retired and now after I've retired, and make sure that I make the taxes and that I make the mortgage, and then, oh, the insurance is awful. And I'm doing an interview right now, and Travis was here. Did he call you? All right. Thanks, babe. Bye-bye. Okay. I think to get smaller businesses to thrive in Denton, the city could assist us and make it less expensive to do business. We could get a break on some of our school taxes that we pay on the buildings. We could get a break on the franchise tax. I'm still not really sure what all that's about. The licensure, we have to get extensive licensure now for mobile kitchens and things like that. I also have a coffee trailer. The utilities are difficult. They come and they tear up the streets and they tear up the roads and they tear up the sidewalks, and the people they hire to put them back don't listen to the people who own the buildings. The city could help us more by taking what we say seriously. For a small business in Denton, you have to have a building. Buildings are too expensive to build, and right now, buildings with the rent that the landlords want, and that gets right down to it, is too much.
Yeah. My name is Michael Salusarski, and I'm the owner of the Tomato Pizza. I am related. My parents are the original owners. They opened the store in '84 and ran it until 2007. Pretty much the landlord sold the whole entire square block. He didn't want to sell the individual buildings because my parents tried for years trying to buy the building from him. He didn't want to sell just the individual buildings. So a company came in, forget where they're based out of. It was like down south somewhere. It's probably Austin, Houston, that kind of area. Came in, bought the whole square block, and then we're like, okay, you have to be out by this time. So it's been a while since I worked on this truck. I've been taking care of the Louisville truck. So just our regular pizza dough. We throw them in a little bit of cornmeal, and then right before we throw them in the oven, we'll top them with butter, garlic salt, Parmesan, and of course, butter. I had a couple friends that kind of approached me about, hey, would you, are you interested in maybe doing this? And, and it just kind of snowballed from there. Yeah, I mean, food truck just seemed like the easier, I say easier is not the right word. It seemed more likely to get it going. Brick and mortar was going to cost a lot of money. It was going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars more than what I had or any of my partners had, that we were like, we did look at some buildings, things like that prior to the truck, but it was just the amount of rent was just kind of outrageous. And so the factors in that, the cost of goods, all of that, food truck just seemed a little bit more on that scale of being able to get going. I don't know, pizza and bars and alcohol, it kind of goes hand in hand. So I know whenever I'm drinking, hey, I want a slice of pizza or a breadstick. Or October is always our busiest month of the year, just because of all the Halloween stuff. At least the last 2 years have. I don't know the exact numbers of how many slices. Over thousands and thousands of slices. But no, we cook. At any given time, we could cook around 30 to 60 slices of pizza at a time. I can't imagine what my parents were going through. As a kid, I didn't really, my parents were like, oh, yep, we just have to go get other jobs and whatever else. And trying to, I was going into my senior year. I didn't have any idea what I wanted to do. My thought was, hey, I was going to, work side by side with my parents until we got to a point where I could, they could retire and they could hand it off to the next person, that kind of thing. And, they knew that it was going to be in good hands. Thinking back to then, my life would be completely different if we were still running the store on Fry Street and all that. And so, I don't know. I haven't thought about it for a very long time. Yeah, I'm not a very political person. I don't know. My theory is it's a lot of it, especially I would say since I say post-pandemic, a lot of times it seems that is like rent has become so outrageously expensive for these mom and pop shops to be able to keep going. The cost of goods have gone up. It seems that, we're going more in a trend of like, the mom and pop shops are closing. So these more corporate places that can maybe afford these rents are starting to like kind of move in and take over, unfortunately, because I feel like, especially with Denton, the mom and pop shops are kind of the places that make Denton unique. Even from 2007, when my parents closed their restaurant, we've seen multiple restaurants and mom and pop shops in general close down. And yeah,
Because it turns out they had been using
like cheap
stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's been super awesome with like the community that is like kind of rallied behind us. When we first got going, it was just the love and the support and just like it. I wouldn't be in this spot without obviously the Denton community, without my team, everybody that's kind of helped out over the last 2.5 years. My partners with my friends. I say partners. I mean, they're all friends at this point. This dream wouldn't have become something if it wasn't because of them. Whenever new students come in, it's UNT and TW. They have there's constantly new people coming to this town, and getting to introduce them to a legendary, I guess, pizza, and what makes Denton special is it's always been kind of gratifying.
Well, so I'm right on the cusp of like millennial and Gen Z. I was born in 1997, so whether or not I'm like technically a millennial or technically a Zoomer is like hotly contested. And it's been strange because definitely, obviously, when I was born, just like year after year after year after year, like more consumerism, more technology, more of our lives were just like taking place entirely on the internet. I don't know, I was not immune to like hipsterdom, and so like I was collecting vinyl and stuff when I was like in high school. Now I feel like I see that in a quieter way and a more, this isn't even like me making a statement, this is just what sits right with my soul, basically. Like I can't handle all the noise, I can't handle the constant consumerism, I don't want to upgrade my phone every year, that's exhausting, nobody wants to actually do that. Yeah, and I see it with people my age, I see it with people younger than me. I definitely think that everybody's just exhausted and burnt out from the constant advertising, constant consumerism that is just being shoved down our throats.
Do you have an estimate of how much stuff is back there at any given time?
Number guess. What would your number guess be? Oh God. Next door too.
Originally, I was thinking like 500,000. Yeah, 500,000. But I was like, is that too much? Then after looking at everything, I'm like, that might be a good estimate.
Well, it sounds crazy, but you're looking at, let's say our cheapest item we price in is 99 cents, but the average is $5. So you're talking about like honestly millions of dollars of an inventory, which is crazy because those things would have just gone to a landfill.
Yeah, so when I was younger, we had to thrift, like it wasn't an option. My mom, she was a single mom at the time, 3 kids, so you gotta make ends meet. So we would always go to the thrift stores. And I have a very distinct memory of, I saw somebody that I knew at school and I cried and I hid in like a little corner or something. Because back then it was embarrassing. Like it meant you were poor, I guess. But nowadays that it's trending, it's like, it's a necessity almost again. Because people can't afford to keep up with livelihood anymore. And if it was bad back then, this was like maybe 10, 15 years ago. So it's only gotten so much worse now. Yeah, but I'm very grateful that the idea of thrifting has evolved though, because Now it's something that I can be proud of and like get to represent on a day-to-day basis. Whereas younger me would have been like, I guess, ashamed in a sense.
Why not just?
Okay, so I'm Brendan Chip. I'm the grandson of the original owner of the store, and I'm taking it over as manager now. We've kind of exploded in our sales compared to what we've done like 4 or 5 years ago. Just noticed that the secondhand, the antique market has really increased in the last couple of years because people are tired of the same old sterilized aesthetic, the same old throwaway culture. You know, you basically get to own nothing by the end of the road if you just continue buying from IKEA and Walmart. And this is the best way to combat that, you know, buy from somebody local, buy from somebody who can actually make a little bit of a living off of it and isn't just wringing you dry for what little bit you got.
For the most part, the Women's Vintage Society is not women my age, they're a little bit older, but I have been seeing a lot more people lately taking on this sustainable approach, taking on this dressing vintage. I've also noticed it in architecture. I've noticed it in a lot of things. I've noticed it in movies. I've noticed it in music. Like Zendaya wore that bright green 1930s silk bias gown that I'm just so envious of. It's all becoming mainstream, and I'm pretty excited about that.
We'll be right back. It's not candy.
In this comic book is a love story, a boy and girl in love. They get married, and after an offensively lurid description, illustrated of course, of the couple's wedding night, the book shows how the bride murders her husband by chopping his head off with an axe. This comic book describes a sexual aberration so shocking that I couldn't mention even the scientific term on television. I think there ought to be a law against them.
One of the things that happened is when the unit of John Denton's militia, of which he was a scout and he had the rank of captain, so I oftentimes refer to him as Captain Denton, they went the wrong way. So they actually wound up heading south due to reports of Indian sightings from unreliable narrators. And they wind up finding themselves in a place down near present-day Arlington. There's actually a monument down there to the Battle of Village Creek. But it wasn't a battle, it was a massacre.
Honey, I'm gonna be back soon, okay? I'm introducing the last segment, you know? What? What do you mean? Okay, she's mad. Anyways, here's the Songwriters Guild with some music. I've gotta run. You can stay, you can come with if you want. Shit.
Hi, my name is Leanne Schultz. I am the marketing coordinator at the Bryan College of Business at UNT. I have the opportunity and I'm fortunate to get to work with younger generations, and I actually really enjoy being around younger people. What I've noticed is that people are starting to like the idea of landlines, and they're starting to like the idea of tangible things, things you can touch, things you can feel, not just screens and not just everything that's digital.
This is my anti-capitalism song, so if that does something for you. I mean, if it doesn't, come on. Really? Even today?
Just like it ever was, it always goes the same way. If you're not constantly winning, you're losing the day. If you stopped playing along, we'd still be okay. There's so much more to this life than what rich people say. You get in with a grin, they'll let you stick around for some rise, or a seat at their table to sell yourself part of you dies. Yeah, they'll call you their friend just as long as they're bleeding you dry. And you need them, you'll find that the friendship no longer applies. Be living our lives like we choose. If we stop trying to win, there'd be nothing to lose. Everyone's hustling, playing the game, trying to stand out when we all look the same. Buying their happiness just to stay sane, watching their one precious life slip away. On and on and on. Different day, same song. Could be living our lives as we choose. If we stop trying to win, there'd be nothing to lose. Let it out. It's all over, when all of this has been said and done, nobody really can say that they lost or they won. Yeah, you made a few dollars, but traded away all your time. You can live how you want, but from now on, these moments are mine. On and on and on. Different day, same song. living our lives as we choose. If we stop trying to win, there'd be nothing to lose. On and on and on. Different day, same song. We could be living our lives as we choose. If we stop trying to win, then maybe there's nothing to lose. There's nothing to lose.
Thanks, man.
Yes, it's exactly how I thought it would feel. I love Garland. Anyways, thanks for watching Lil D TV with me today. Your host, Ethan Bouchard. You can find me on YouTube on Slice Fury. You can find me anywhere on Slice Fury, honestly. Yeah, and thanks for watching. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.